Greetings, YouTube. It's your favorite DM Fish Suit here, back with another episode of Rime of the Frostmaiden. Episode 10. I can't believe we've done 10 of these things already. We started pretty much just a few weeks after the Adventure Path came out. So excited to get back in here and play with our group tonight. Thank you guys for all the subscriptions on YouTube. We're up over 100 now. We have our own custom YouTube URL. You might have noticed a few changes around here on the old YouTubes. If you're enjoying this content, please continue to follow, subscribe on YouTube, follow live here on Twitch. We are, we stream these every other Monday at my Twitch channel, which is a link down below. When we last left our heroes, they had just finished basically their second quest here in Icewind Dale, and we're going to pick up with them after, actually during a little party that they're attending. So, without further ado, let's play some D&D.
Love it.
All right, I want to make one thing clear before we start. All right.
Okay.
Jackson.
Oh no.
Olivessa did not just lean down and tongue Jordy in a weird and awkward. I was watching the video, and when I said that Olivessa kissed Jordy, you were like horrified by what it just.
I was worried what was going to happen. I was got kissed. I was like, okay, it's just a kiss. I didn't know where it was going.
She reaches down your pants.
I was just caught off guard.
Jackson's like, Fish Suit, I do not want to roleplay a sex scene with you.
Not again.
All right. So when we last left off, it's been some time since we've played. We had the 2 weeks between our sessions normally, and then I was having internet problems, which I'm gonna say we are over 30 minutes into the stream, and we've dropped to 0 frames. So, Fish Suit bless. Let's keep that train rolling. You guys just basically returned the mead to Goodmead. The people of Goodmead were grateful. There was a celebration in the mead hall, and I'm going to get to kind of one by one what everybody wants to do, because I know that some of you guys want to do some stuff during this celebration. But just to recap quickly, Olivessa, it's the wrong suit. Olivessa was speaking to Jordy when we last left off, and she's a little tipsy, and I think Jordy was a little tipsy too. And she was basically imploring Jordy to run for town speaker. And Jordy was like, well, I'm not really a diplomat. And she's like, we're not looking for a diplomat. We're looking for somebody to whoop some ass and protect the people of this town. I think you're that man. And she gave you a little smooch, and she also told you about this. The reason that she really wants you to run is because she has no interest in it, but there was this other dude in town that is going to run, is actively trying to be the speaker, and her friends, she just really doesn't trust this guy. His name was Shandar Froth. And he's a dwarf. And in surveying this party that's taking place, Cleo and Shandar were up on a table singing bawdy tunes in the middle of this party. So that's kind of where we left off. I'm going to just take them one by one here, and I'll ask Zune first. While this celebration is happening, Kindar's not a drinker, so what do you imagine he's doing? Is there anything special that you would like to do?
Nothing specifically. He's just kind of soaking it in. Maybe, as always, just trying to listen around and see if anyone's talking about anything.
Okay.
That catches his ear.
Okay. I'll get back to you then, because it's going to take me a minute to pull up some stuff. But I think that's a fantastic. That's definitely been your MO, and you've gotten some good information like that as well.
Yep.
Valor, I know you had something in mind here. You had mentioned it on the podcast. So take it away. What's going on with Gusto?
So Gusto is not going to have a drink at all
he would go to the tavern area to buy a jar of the mead, and also a jar of the honey. I guess just let me know what the cost is on that. Um, then he would also ask if there was any way to send a package out. If there's any postage.
Yeah, so the like as you guys kind of maybe had even talked about with Olivessa, they're gonna send this mead up to Bryn Shander like fairly soon. So
Rosie knocks my microphone down.
a little too much mead. So you can the bartender says maybe you could find the driver of the dog sleds that are gonna, or the team that's gonna basically take this meat into Bryn Shander. It's probably gonna be multiple sled teams to pull a wagon.
Okay. I asked to be pointed in that direction, and I'd like to go and just make a little conversation with that person and let them know that I need a package sent. It'll be fully addressed, and I'll give you an extra gold to make sure it's done.
Yeah, so you find the guy like fairly easily. He's like this whole town is here basically. Like everybody is partying. Like you guys saved the day for sure. And so you can imagine the scene. Like you're kind of shouldering through the crowd, and you find the guy, and he's a little drunk, and it's also like everybody reveres you at this point. Like everybody's like, you guys did it. Like you're heroes. And I mean, I think we left it off last time where like, whatever you need, Good Mead's got you, right? Like you got a place to stay. You have friends here now where maybe you don't really have that in any other of these 10 towns. So yeah, you find the guy, he's like a little tipsy and he's definitely like, whatever you want, I got. Do you need it to be delivered? Is it somebody in Bryn Shander, or is it going to be posted outside of Icewind Dale, or what's the...
It'll be outside of Icewind Dale.
Okay. So yeah, he thinks that you could probably find the ticket to the trading post in Bryn Shander for you, and a gold is no problem. He can definitely do that.
And I'll let him know that I'll meet him in the morning to give him the package.
Okay, and he cheers as you. Anything else, Gusto, at this soiree?
At that point, I'd probably head back to my room.
Okay. So you're not going to stay. You're not going to stay and enjoy the festivities.
No, I've got a few things to do.
Okay. All right, Jordy. Olivessa just gave you the speech. There's probably a lot going on in your head right now, and she kind of just is dancing around. She is kind of the host of this party, more or less. So she's going around, making sure everybody's glasses are filled, and just kind of has left you with this information.
Yeah, I would think after that, he kind of like doesn't leave, but kind of like pulls himself away for a second, because I kind of like just made him completely change gears from going partying, and now he has all this information. And also, I remember he asked about the barbarian burial ground that they found, and they said that the barbarians haven't been there in years. And when they were doing the little eulogy that Floor did at George's request, he mentioned that he was helped by barbarians and their culture. So he's a a bit lost about that, considering he was recently helped by barbarians. So like, and plus on top of that, he just got hit with that as well. So he just sits down, away for a second, gathers his thoughts. After he like sits for a second, sips his drink a little bit. I'll ask Kindar. He's probably off somewhere away from the crowd. See if he knows anything about this barbarian thing, and talk to him about like what all of us has just dropped on him as well, because seems like a pretty intelligible guy.
Yeah, so you kind of find Kindar off to the side of the bar. He's just sipping his glass of tepid water, listening his glass of ice cold core water.
Core water.
So yeah, if you want to speak with Kindar, there he is.
Boy, Kindar, Do you know anything about barbarians in Icewind Dale?
I mean, nothing specifically, unless say, would I remember anything from my adventures through Pursuit?
Why don't you give me a history check?
All right, I'm gonna try it through the app. I don't know. I tried to fix some
Okay.
stuff. Hopefully this works, but if not, I'll. History should be +5. We're getting closer. At least it's not adding like 8 to everything now.
So that's true. What's the total?
So that should be 13.
13. So Jordy kind of tells you like, what do you tell him exactly? What do you ask him exactly? If he knows anything about barbarians, or what's...
I noticed you were able to read the pictographs down there. I was wondering if you knew anything else about it, or maybe saw something else on there. Because while I was down there, Floor gave me the eulogy, and I talked about how I was helped by barbarians in the culture. And Olivessa just told me barbarians haven't been here in years, but I was helped by barbarians after they supposedly all went north.
Okay, so Kindar would with the 13, you like understand that that the barbarians generally don't occupy Icewind Dale this far south. That they're generally a little bit further north than Icewind Dale. That they follow the caribou across the tundra seasonally, and that's generally takes place. I'm gonna take you guys out to the main Icewind Dale map real quick. So you don't have a ton of this of like to see and that's available to the north, but I'm gonna ping if you come way back out on this map. So you're really far out. You can see that generally the barbarians can be located in these like northern parts of Icewind Dale. So to find a barbarian this far south in this like in at this time in history is rare.
Okay, yeah. So Kindar would explain to Jordy, we usually never see him, this far south of the what's the name of that mountain?
It's Kelvin's Cairn.
Yeah, Kelvin's Cairn. Usually they're north of there, and not in this area. So if it's very odd if there's a barbarian out here.
Okay. Also, all of us just came to me. I don't know if it's just because she was drunk or not, but she asked me to be the town speaker. But I don't think I'm the person to be I'm not really sure what to do with this information that was just dropped on me. I thought I'd run it by you because you seem like a very smart individual.
Well, that is that's very interesting and kind of honoring that she would think of you for that. So you don't think that you're best cut out for it, but usually, those are the best leaders, the ones who don't think that they're cut out for it.
That's why I told her. She didn't believe me. She didn't want to be leader either. That's why she asked me.
Nobody wants to lead this loser town.
Let me ask you something then, Jordy. How do you feel about all the sacrifices going on around here? We might have talked about this before, but overall, how do you feel about the sacrifices everywhere?
I am definitely not a fan of it. It is, no pun intended, but very barbaric, which I guess isn't unlike that.
Some barbarians out here.
But I just don't I never understood it. I've never personally, luckily, I've never had to deal with it so far. But
do you think that there's anything to prove by maybe possibly considering this position and then maybe stopping the sacrifice of warmth here so that we can maybe we can prove that that's not a necessary component to all of this, or maybe something happens and we get proved wrong. But I honestly, it seems illogical to be doing all these sacrifices and how every town is doing different ones.
I never thought about that. That's a very good point. It could be risky, but that is a surefire way to figure out what exactly is going on with this night. Everyone's been so afraid to actually delve deeper into it. But
maybe
I
it could be
suppose
a temporary thing as they actually find a more permanent speaker.
it could. There's the problem that we have to go find the talking wolves. So I'm not sure how I'm supposed to do both. Because I'm not going to just abandon you all to be a town speaker of a town that I just met.
We have to make Jackson has to make a new character. It's like, God damn it, fish suit.
That's just something to think about. I know that you have your hesitations, but there is that one thing that I'm not sure we would be able to persuade anyone else to do if they believe that strongly, that it's that important to be sacrificing warmth.
Interesting. So so Kindar's stance is like, maybe if Jordy does run and his town speaker, he can be like, this is all what you're doing is bullshit and unnecessary. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah.
Interesting. That's really neat.
It is. I'm really glad I went to talk to Kindar.
You were right. You were totally right. Kindar had some cool insight on that I didn't think about that aspect of it. Yeah, anything else here, Jordy? Anything else you'd like to do here at the festivities?
No,
the mood is definitely turned right for you a little bit.
He kind of helped a little bit, but now he has like even more questions.
Yeah.
Which isn't, I guess it's not necessarily a bad thing, because that is a great idea. That is probably one thing that no town has tried, is like stop feeding into this like beast, basically, that everyone's afraid of. Yeah.
Okay. Cleo, up on the the tables of the bar, with her arm around Shandar Froth, singing bawdy tunes with a mug of mead in her hand. Anything special you'd like to be doing? Are you just enjoying the festivities? What's Cleo doing besides the scene I just described?
I'm mainly just trying to look around to find like the drunkest person that might have the best stuff that I can pickpocket.
Well, I mean, the guy you're making merry with here is pretty hammered. he's a dwarf, so he's been slamming back these meads for quite a while. And you're already right next to him here, so.
Rosie's just standing in front of me, staring at me like 6 inches away.
It looks so funny on the camera.
So she oh my god, not her. So I want to take him to the bar and offer to buy him a shot or two.
Okay. And he's like, "Oh, that sounds great."
Great. I want to like ask like who he is and like what he does around here while he's wasted, and I'm getting him his too.
Yeah, so he explains to you that he is a logger. He's a logger here in Goodmead. So he collects the wood. There's more here around Goodmead, more so than any other towns you've been in so far. There's like more forest, and so he lives here in town, and he's a logger. And he also explains to you that he's not going to be a logger for long, because he is going to be the town speaker here in Goodmead.
Oh, you're going to be the town speaker, huh?
Oh, I'm going to run. I'm going to win.
Oh, you're going to win. What do you plan on doing with this place? Not much here, but a bunch of bees anyway.
Well, I mean, the meat hall pretty much runs itself. We're gonna, you guys killed the only threat in town, the Verbeeg. He's not gonna be back anytime soon. So me and my friends, we're just gonna be able to drink here at the meat hall for free whenever we want, because I'll be in charge of this dump.
That's what you get for being in charge? Maybe I should run.
Oh, not against me, you'd never win.
Oh, haha. You know what? I'll buy you another shot to that. Buy him a third shot.
To
How's that
Shandar!
listen?
He toasts himself.
I take my drink and like, is he? How wasted is he?
Give me a perception check.
Okay. I like went to go grab my dice.
I have to say the things were getting cozy there with Rosie. so-
She's cozy on my keyboard now.
What's going on, Waffle Cone? Nice to see you, dude.
Did it go? I rolled it. I'll try it again. I don't know if it's going.
You might need to connect. It might need to be connected.
Oh, maybe that.
Usually when it doesn't show up in chat, it's not connected.
Connected and reconnected. Why?
Porque!
Do you want me to just roll it regularly?
Yeah, just go ahead and roll it
Okay,
regularly.
cool.
And then when you're not actively doing something, you can goof around with it and see if you can get it to roll.
For sure.
Oh, it's weird. Your D4. Oh, I guess you just did that manually though. Tell me the result.
Very nice.
Tell me the result.
18.
An 18. Yeah. I mean, he's. You know that.
Sorry, I forgot.
No, that's all right. That's all right. I almost read out Zune's earlier. So you know that dwarves can hold their liquor, and sometimes they, like the amount of booze that he just drank, like probably a human would be, on the floor, but he looks pretty wasted.
Great. I'm gonna try to just like pickpocket him.
Sure, give me a sleight of hand check. Do you do
Okay.
anything to distract him, or?
I kind of just wanna like I'll just be talking him up and like asking questions about himself so that he's all like just talking about himself.
Yeah, he's like
The entire
he
time.
starts telling you these stories that are like pretty obviously not true about how he killed a bear with his bare hands. I swear to God, I will kill Gusto immediately. My wife gets on here and is like, "My dwarven fortitude."
15.
15. Very interesting. All right, Sunfire. I don't know. Is it just me? Did her camera freeze for you guys too, or is it just me?
Yeah. Also, I've checked in Roll20 and on stream.
Okay. Yeah, your camera froze
What?
for us, son.
How? I wonder if Rosie did. Okay, Rosie, you need to get down here real quick. You need to. Okay.
So you
let me try to
pickpocket
reconnect.
this guy, and you pickpocket basically his coin purse. And by his coin purse, I of course mean his testicles.
Ew.
No, you pickpocket a coin purse out of him, and you just kind of quickly glance inside, and there's quite a few gold in there. I'll DM you the exact amount, Sunflower.
Great.
Because you're obviously not going to take it out right there and count it.
Yeah.
So there, I sent you the DM, and what you notice, what you do notice is that the pouch that this that the gold was in looks like pretty interesting. It has like a you catch that it has like a logo on like a some markings on the side of it. Without further inspection, you can't really yeah, it looks like you reloaded Vlor and it didn't something weird happened. Let me see if I can just reload everybody. There we go. And zoomed. Perfect. Okay, yeah, so without like actually taking it and inspecting it, but you notice that there's some sort of weird logo or picture or something on the side of the pouch that had the gold in it. So just file that away in your memory, and if you ever want to look at it when you're not actively in the act of stealing from the guy, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
when
got
you
you.
when you get a loan, you can take a closer look at it and see if you know what it is. But just to know that
As-
there is something about it that's interesting.
The second I get it, I peek in it, put it right in my pocket.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was.
And then I walk away
Sad.
and try to find someone else that I like, one of the closest person that I know.
So the closest person that you know, you notice that Kindar and Jordy are over in the corner, and they look like they had been talking.
I walk over to them then and say, "Hey, wondering where you guys have been. I've been looking for you."
Hello, Cleo.
We were just talking a bit. Our host is here, asked me to run for town speaker. I believe the fellow you were just dancing with is the other person running against her.
That guy, he was just yabbering on about how he's gonna win town speaker. He seemed like a total jackass to me.
I see why
Maybe,
she doesn't want him to win.
maybe you should run against him. That sounds kind of fun, huh? He was talking about how he'd get free mead all the time.
But they have to sell the beat to live.
Well, maybe that's another reason I guess you should be town speaker. And I just
So-
look kind of embarrassed at the ground, like, fine.
That sounds like it would be almost disastrous if he won.
Yeah, so even further, like just furthering what Olivessa told you, you know, Jordy, why she's so like she clearly has her reasons for not wanting to be speaker. You haven't really delved that deep into that, but why she doesn't want this guy, because as Cleo, you definitely were like, this guy's a blowhard. He's full of himself. And the only reason he wants to be town speaker is so that him and his buddies can drink for free in the meat hall and not have to be lumber, work at the lumber yard anymore, basically. Anything else that you guys like to do at this party? We can say
So
that.
I guess at this point, Kindar maybe would want to try to he was kind of like before listening, trying to listen for conversations. Maybe now he's more actively just kind of walking, would like to kind of actively walk around a little bit to really listen to people, but just kind of sipping water, pretending it might be a drink or something. But really trying to listen for somebody talking about this, the speaker position and how they maybe don't want that guy to be the speaker. Maybe just listening for anybody there who might have that sort of thought process already that's from the town.
Why don't you give me a perception check here?
Try this again. Should be a +3, but I'll just subtract 1 from it.
Okay.
That would be a 4.
Yeah, you you're walking through the crowd, and unfortunately you have that they call me Gusto, they call me Cleo. You have that song stuck in your head to the point where you can't concentrate, and you just can't really. It's just that earworm has been in your head for days now, and it's ruined your concentration. To the
Still
point
trying to figure
where...
out why she said Gusto.
Yeah, who's Gusto? Yeah, so unfortunately it does not. Your walk through the crowd is unfruitful.
Okay.
With your natural one. Feels bad, man.
Someone spiked his order.
There we go.
Okay, anything else here at the
Working
party?
I'm pretty happy with what I got, and I have had a long day. I am good to head back to the inn or wherever we're staying if you are.
Yeah, so you guys, there's not like an actual legitimate inn here. So you guys are basically you all have your separate rooms. Cleo and Gusto actually have rooms here at the mead hall. You have separate rooms here. And Kindar, the place that they set you up is right across the street here. This is an old, kind of disused shrine that they now use as like kind of a community center meeting place. And Jordy, they got you down here at the Longhouse near the docks. So if everybody's going their own separate ways, then we can cut back here to Gusto in your room here at the mead hall. Did you have some stuff you wanted to do?
Yeah, just writing some things down and getting the package together, waiting to hear Cleo going into her room. Once I'd hear her go and actually get into her room, I'd come out and knock on the door.
That's really funny you said that, because I was gonna say to you that the second I get to my room, I want to pull out my like wand and my little like I want to like play dress up in my little jewels that I have and just like look at and like open my coin purse, and I wanted to inspect it because I was all by myself.
All right,
So that's funny.
All right, so let's so you get into your room, and before Gusto ever gets there, you take out all this stuff. So the first thing, Cleo, you take out is the wand.
Take out the wand, and I take out the crown that's in my bag.
Ah, yes. We have not really talked too much about this. So you take out the wand and the crown that's in your bag. Why don't you give me an Arcana check, Cleo, to see if you can learn or discern anything about the wand, because we have not really checked this thing out too much.
I also have the identify spell.
Okay.
So if I don't roll high enough there, I might.
So let me pop this bad boy open. Yeah, you really don't. You really have no idea.
Okay, out of frustration, I'm just like, oh, fine. And I cast my identify spell on the wand.
All right, and tell me how identify works and what it does.
You choose one object that you must touch throughout the casting of the spell. If it is a magic item or some other magic imbued object, you learn its properties and how to use them, whether it requires attunement to use, and how many charges it has, if any. You learn whether any spells are affecting the item and what they are. If the item was created by a spell, you learn which spell created it. If you instead touch a creature throughout the casting, you learn what spell, if any, is currently affecting it. So.
Okay. So, and that's a level 1 spell?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So, as you're casting this identify spell, we go to like a little flashback. We go to like if this was a TV show, there's a little cutscene in here where we see the beating of hooves on the ground. We see these horses running, galloping. It's nighttime. They're galloping through a field, and they come up. The horses stop short, and the camera doesn't pan up to the riders of the horses, but it pans up to their destination, which is the town of Luskin. Now, if you guys remember, Luskin is like the last bastion of humanity before you guys head up here in Icewind Dale. Cleo and Gusto, you guys were on a several weeks long caravan that traveled from Luskin to Bryn Shander. That was the very start of our campaign back in September, as you guys were getting off the caravan there in Bryn Shander. And so the camera pans over and we see Luskin, and the riders ride up to the town walls of Luskin. It's a big kind of walled city, medium-sized city. And we see that there's some words being exchanged between the guys up on the gate and the riders, and eventually the doors to the town open up. And the riders dismount, start walking their mounts through the city of Luskin, and the scene goes from like a more trade center right inside the walls of the city to sort of the seedier and seedier parts of Luskin, till eventually they come to their destination, which is just a really shitty, like, hole in the wall bar. The sign is hanging by a thread. It looks like the door has been kicked in several times. They tie up their horses outside and they head into the bar. And we see this like Mos Eisley cantina of rogues in this town, in this bar, and everybody's kind of like, looking over under the brim of their hat. Their cowls pulled down low. It's smoky. It's dark. And the two riders, they walk up to the bar. And the bartender's like, what do you have? And they're like, and the one guy takes a small scroll from his pocket and he slides it across the bar. And he says, her. The bartender unscrolls the scroll, looks down, he's like, yeah, I've seen her. It'll cost you. The rider takes out a pouch out of his coat, puts it on the bar. It's obviously just like overflowing. It's silver, spills out onto the bar top. And the bartender just says 2 words. Bryn Shander. Now we cut back to Cleo in the mead hall here, wearing the crown. Just kind of looking down at the wand. And Cleo, when you go to cast that spell, you realize that you don't have any available spell slots. You have no magic.
Oh, I don't? I thought we had... Oh, okay. Sorry,
You rested.
my...
You rested. By all
Okay.
accounts, you should have recovered your spell slots. But for some reason, you didn't.
Why?
You don't know.
And I'm holding the wand as I'm doing... Okay. If I take my hand off the wand and I try to like cast it on something else, or I try to use like my mage hand on something to see if any of my magic is working, can I use like my mage hand to like try to move something in the room, like a pillow or something?
Is Mage Hand a cantrip?
Yeah.
Then yes.
Okay, but not my... Okay. Do I know why this is happening?
You can... No, I mean, you don't. By all accounts, you should have regained your magic every other time you've rested. You've regained your magical abilities, but you, for whatever reason, you don't know why, this time you didn't. So put me in Cleo's head for just a second here. Is she like panicking? Is she freaking? Is she calm?
She's freaking out. She's like, wait, why the like I rested? Like, what is happening right now? Like, I should have all my spells right now. I'm just chilling. I'm just hanging out.
And just
why
then...
isn't this working? Okay. I quickly hide the crown and I have my wand in my bag and I shove it somewhere in the corner and I go, who is it?
It's me.
Ugh.
Do you have a moment? I'd like to speak with you.
I love that.
I don't know if it's a good time. Okay, and then I just open the door, but I like keep eyeing my bag, and then I just go, why? What's up? What's going on? And I like shut the door quickly behind him.
Are we inside the room or outside the room?
Inside the room.
I wanted to talk to you for a bit.
Oh yeah, Gusto.
You know, it was kind of interesting how you were able to lift the lid of that sarcophagus.
I didn't lift it, man. I swear it just wanted me to open it so badly that it just lifted off itself. Swear I didn't do it.
With a mischievous smile, Gusto will give a little wink. Oh, I know it did.
So that was you then? You
What
just
are you
making me
talking
look
about?
bad?
You know, I think that maybe it might be prudent to think of others' interests before acting or putting their business out places. I think it could be really beneficial to you and maybe me, the group, if we thought a bit more about how things might play out.
Well, it seems like you should take your own advice, Gusto.
Okay. Are we going to play it like that then?
Hey, I thought we were fine. We saved this town. We were drinking, having fun. I don't know what your problem is. It's fine. You do you. I'll do me. I've just been living my life. And I'm like already like panicking in my head. I can't really like think of it. I don't even want to have this conversation right now because all I'm thinking about is like why my magic isn't working.
Yeah.
Well, let's just keep that name between us, why don't we?
Okay, and I whisper, Gustav.
I think it could be bad news for others to hear that name.
So what are you wanted by others? It's
I
fine,
just think
man.
that,
I'm not saying I know people who have also wanted to be wanted by others and it makes sense now.
well, okay then.
This is two people who are both dancing around what they actually want to say to the other person.
Can I roll like insight on him to like see if like he's just like I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to word what I want to do. So I guess never mind.
Well, as long as we keep this name between us, I think.
Which name? Gusto?
Yes. As far as everyone is concerned, I'm Vlor, the merchant, and I'd like to keep it that way.
Well, what's in it for me, man?
I'm sure those items in your bag are quite enough.
What items in my bag?
Come on now.
What items in my bag?
We know that you
know
have taken things from the sarcophagus.
Oh, yeah.
And
I swear there was nothing in there.
I know as well as you that sticky fingers don't stay satiated for long.
Speak for yourself, man. I was raised this way.
Just saying. I think that if you keep the name between us, we don't have to disclose any other information.
Well, I'll keep that in the back of my mind.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I'm glad we had this
So,
talk.
just question, like, how you feeling? Do you feel like you're like very magical right now? Does this place feel kind of weird to you? I'm just feeling kind of sick or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm fine.
You're fine? Are you sure you're fine? Like, if you wanted to be like, bam, bam, spell, you could just whip it out.
Yes.
Okay.
Why?
I'm just curious.
Are you having some trouble?
I don't really. I think so, and I try to cast a spell again, and it's just not working. And I'm like kind of freaked out.
That's interesting. Oh, I'm sure it'll be fine.
You're sure it'll be fine? What help you are. I knew I shouldn't have told you any.
Well, I think that I think we can keep this between us.
Did he cast this? But did you cast this spell on me?
Why would I do so?
Can I roll insight on him? He seems
She's
suspicious now.
Yeah, insight specifically to see like, is he what's causing you to not have any magical abilities?
Four.
Yeah, I just think you're so discombobulated right now, and you're in like your mental state is not. This is a weird conversation. it's a little uncomfortable. You just had this incident with your magic. You've had some drinks. It's just your Cleo's kind of all over the place right now. You're just not very emotionally stable right this moment.
Okay. Well, I just say whatever, and I try to push him out of my, not physically push, but like try to
Use
converse
your
him
mage
out
hand
of the room.
to shove him out of the room.
Can I quickly do a detect magic?
Yeah. You don't have to do that as a. You don't have
A
to
ritual?
Yeah.
Can
No,
I
as
see
long
him
as I have
casting
spell
the spell?
slots.
I don't. That's a really great question, honestly.
Probably
It's
like as he does it though, because it probably has
Right.
somatic.
Yeah.
it's verbal and somatic.
Yeah. So he's casting the spell, but you know that he's casting a spell, Cleo.
I try physically push him out of the room. I physically take him and I start shoving him out of the room.
Would I be
Saying,
able to get
"It's
the
fine,
spell
I
off
gotta get
and
outta here."
get a quick glimpse?
Yes. I'm gonna give you some information. Probably because you're being like physically removed from the room, you're
Yeah.
not gonna get all the information. The first thing that the thing that you do get, Gusto, is the Cleo's bag is like rotten with magic. Like there is all kinds of magic in that bag.
Figured.
And you as you're being shoved out, as she's like grabbing you and pushing you from the room, you do see that she seems to have some sort of aura of magic about her. She herself is being affected by some magic, but then it's gone because she shoves you out and closes the door behind you.
Okay. Okay.
All right, Cleo. Before we end this day, is anything else you'd like to do?
I don't know if there's anything I can do right now. I literally just probably stay awake most of the night, kind of freaking out. I probably don't rest
Trying
very
your
well.
spells trying the spells that you know over and over again, and the only thing you seem to be able to cast are cantrips. The only thing you can really viciously mock, the bed and the chair in the room. But the only thing you have right now that's available to you, are your cantrips. That's it. Okay, unless there's something that do you want to describe Jordy's nighttime ritual? What Kindar's pajamas look like?
He's just fast asleep, on his back, fully out.
Like the loudest
this
snoring that
shit's
anybody
happening.
has ever heard in his entire life.
During all that happening.
Okay, so I know that nobody really used much magic, but maybe Gusto, you get your spell back basically. But everybody gets everybody gets a long rest. I don't think anybody really used it, and you find yourselves the next morning here in Goodmead. I imagine everybody kind of waking up and making their way maybe into the mead hall and having a little breakfast. What's the plan from here, party? What would you guys? I know the original plan was Dougan's Hole. Is that kind of still? You catch the wagon guy pretty early in the morning, Gusto, and you give him. I'm assuming you just give him the package and give him the gold, and he's like, "I got you."
Yeah.
And so that caravan actually heads out pretty early in the morning because they're already late.
How much was the mead and the honey?
Free, because you are so revered here in the town.
Nice. I get you a list of the package details.
Okay, yeah, you can DM me.
Yeah.
Okay.
DM me this package.
Yeah, go ahead and DM me that. Just take a picture of it. Really, that'll help.
Like the thing that you sent out.
So yeah, just we can go out of character here, but what's the plan? What do you guys want to do from here? Is it still head to Dougan's Hole? Do you have any other things that you'd like to do?
I wanted to find Gusto in the morning on I'm assuming we're near each other somewhere.
Yeah, you guys were
We
both staying in the
each
mead
other.
hall, so
I just wanted to find him and just say like I'm sorry for last night. Like I'm literally freaking out and I don't know what's going on and I still cannot do my magic and I thought that you were gonna hurt me or try to get my stuff and I'm sorry.
Well, I can definitely tell you that there was an aura about you last night that may have been what was causing your issues.
An aura around me?
Yeah.
Like what kind of aura? And I just start freaking out because I can't feel anything on me.
Well,
Um,
if you'd like to take a few minutes before we go down and meet the others, I can try and detect magic again to see if it's still there, and I can give you a bit more information.
let's go meet up with the others first because I think I want everybody to be around for this just in case something bad happens.
Okay. I'd prefer to be in a private place when we do this.
Private, like just us two?
The group is fine,
Okay,
but
then yes.
no one else, please.
I would prefer no one else. I don't need anyone knowing that I have weird aura magic around me. Or why.
Is that going to be before or after I catch the wagon?
I would say you caught the wagon like first thing. They left at the first dawn, and so maybe that you're heading back into the meat hall when this interaction with Cleo happens.
Okay.
All right. So what
So I
are we
guess
doing?
we'll go for
Finding the
some
other
food,
group.
breakfast.
Oh, you're gonna have some breakfast. Okay, I wasn't sure if you were gonna. Okay. All right. So like I said, we don't have to do this in character. If you prefer, that's fine. But what do you guys want to do?
Well, Jordy's. Well, I guess I'm conflicted. He wants to go to Dougan's Hole. That's his prior obligation is to the group that he's with. But he definitely has to talk to Olivessa before he leaves about the situation. Probably like ask her, be like, well, I definitely can't be speaker right this moment. But we might be able to figure something out later on. Possibly he could just endorse. I was thinking Jordy just endorse her after hearing that the other guy's such an ass, so it would probably make the town even worse. Because I would think the group endorsing her, the group that helped save the town, endorsing her, since she's the one that took the initiative to find people to go help the town, I think would like guarantee her that over the dickhead dwarf.
So she is still like very much like I really don't. I don't want this. I can't physically protect Goodmead. That's what we need in a speaker, someone who can take up arms and defend the town. That's why I think you'd be such a good leader, is that you'd be able to do that, and you'd be able to, and you are a son of Icewind Dale.
Well, I can't do it right now. When does all of this happen? The drawing or voting for the speaker happen?
It happens in 5 days from now.
5 days from now. All right. Well, we already are on our way to Dugan's Hole, so we definitely had to do that first. We'll probably have to come back through here on the way back because I don't believe there's any other path that goes back into 10 towns.
I don't think so either, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm pretty sure you'd have to go back through Goodmead, yes.
So yeah. So then we will be back. Should be back through here before those 5 days.
And you'll be able to give me your decision then.
Yes, I'll figure out as a group, and I'll talk with my group as well, because I'm not the only one that saved this town. Everyone saved this town.
I understand, but of your party, you are the son of Icewind Dale. You know 10 towns. You know the people of 10 towns. You are the people of 10 towns. 5 days.
All right. So yeah, Jordy is now still conflicted.
He's like, you're just trying to say no in the nicest possible way, but she's making a pretty good case. Okay, off to see the wizard. So you guys have the bag of circuits. Remember, that was a pretty big bag. You also have the, don't forget, you don't have your keg of very holy water. You're not really sure what that does yet. You also have a few, I think you should, in your inventories, have a few containers of that. I think Kindar has a little bit in a small container, and Gusto maybe has some in a small container as well. Are you gonna, it's no problem, leave that stuff here, but I want to make sure that I understand where it is and that you are going to leave it behind if that's the case.
I think that the keg, we can't carry that with us, so I think Kindar was able to secure us a place to store it.
Yeah, that's right, and it's the same place that Kindar spent the night, which is here in this sort of disused shrine.
Yeah,
You bought a storage locker there. $15 a month. You have to supply your own lock.
I'm assuming that if we don't make our payment, they'll auction it off.
Yeah,
and there'll be some kind of a war over it.
Yeah, you got it exactly right. Yeah, you can't go inside. You can only look at it from the outside.
There will be a war over the storage.
Yeah, I don't have anything that I need to leave. Does anybody else?
No, nothing that I want to leave.
Besides your
nothing.
magic.
Yeah, I'm like when we all get together, though, I want to be able to tell everybody what's going on.
Okay,
we're
so
all
you do
caught up.
share with the rest of the party that you don't seem to have any of your magical abilities or the majority of your powerful magics.
Yeah, I'm very panicky when I do it too. Guys, it's not working.
I'd suggest heading, if we're still at the meat hall, I'd suggest heading up to my room
For some coffee.
so we can take some time and detect the magic and see what's going on.
Are you guys willing to, are we with them? Are you guys
Yeah.
willing to come too?
Yeah, I think so. I think Jordy would be concerned.
Yes.
Okay.
I want to see what happens.
All right. Let's do that.
Okay. I do detect magic as a ritual. Take a little bit more time and really lay everything out and do it right to see if that aura is still there.
Okay, so the second time you've seen this ritual cast, Kindar, the second time you've seen Gusto go through this process where he gets out his incense burner and gets out his vestments. I've been frantically looking to see if this is going to give you what you want. And I don't think that it does.
Honestly, the main thing I'm looking for is the school of magic.
I don't even think you're going to get that, though.
Okay. And would I detect anything in her belongings that would match the aura?
Well, it depends on how. Is she gonna? I mean, Cleo, are you gonna empty the bag onto the bed, or is it, you know what I mean? Like,
Unless it's a bag of holding, I should be able to detect the auras in the bag.
yeah, but there's a lot going on in that bag.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Okay. I look at Gusto and I don't say his name out loud. I look at him. I look at the other guys and I tell the other two, just turn around. And I ask them to just turn around. And I don't empty my bag until they turn around.
Jordy's like, we all know you probably took stuff. If we were going to make a deal about it, we would have already.
Turn around. Please. And
She's emptying
Jordan.
her purse, guys. Come on.
Jordy begrudgingly turns around.
I look at Kindar.
Kindar kind of like looks over at Vlor for like maybe like a nod of assurance or something.
I give a shrug. That's as good as you're gonna get, unfortunately.
He doesn't know what's going on either.
Okay.
All
The
right.
second-
Yeah, Kindar turns around.
Okay, the second he turns around, I like pull one thing out of my bag, and I just put it on the bed, and then I pull out more. I kind of like save the crown and the wand for last, and that stone. And I just kind of have all the stuff that I've ever stolen and little like coin purses, all that stuff. Just
Yeah.
like my jars of honey,
Just like a
like
whole bunch of shit.
Jeez.
just a
This
bunch
is
of
great.
random stuff I've stolen along the way, just on the bed. And I just look at him like I just mouth to him like goose, but I don't say it out loud. I'm like, help me.
I guess I would just keep looking at the things as she's pulling them out and shaking my head if like the aura doesn't match, and see if there's anything.
So piece
That
by
matches.
piece, and you said the wand, and I'm giving away a little bit here, but the wand and the stone you haven't taken out yet?
I take those out last. I take out the stone, and then I pull out the wand, and then I wait for his reaction before I pull out the crown.
Okay.
That's the last thing I.
All right. So, when you pull out the coin purse that you stole off of Shandar Froth, I love that guy's name. Gusto, you notice it has like an emblem on it, and the emblem is a white dragon silhouetted against a black and bronze fire. Like it looks like the white dragon is diving into like a pit of fire of some kind, and the fire is all gold on a black background. Why don't you give me a religion check?
Ooh, I'm good at those. Not really. Yeah, really, not really. That's a 3. That's a
That
natural
feels
1.
So bad when you get a bad religion check as a cleric.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, the symbol is unfamiliar to you, but you know it has some significance. When you're casting the detect magic, you do sense again this aura around Cleo. You don't know what school of magic it is. You don't really know what type of magic it is, just that she's being affected by some kind of a magic. And when she pulls out the wand and the stone, it's the same. It's definitely like this from the same school of magic. These items they have the same presence about them. They have the same aura. And on those items, you can detect more. You do know more about those items with your detect magic. You immediately recognize the stone as not a stone, but a pearl, because that stone is actually a pearl of power.
Oh.
I'm going to show you guys this in Roll20.
Oh.
This is a wondrous item. While this pearl is on your person, you can use an action to speak its command word and regain one expended spell slot. If the expended spell slot is of 4th level or higher, the new slot is 3rd level. Once you have used this pearl, it can't be used again until the next dawn. The wand you recognize as a +1 Wand of the War Mage. I'll show you guys that. No, it's not going to let me do that. Let's see if I can do this. No. Okay. Let me see if I can find it in the thing. Sometimes Roll20 just hates it when I try to link stuff. Wand of the War Mage. Boom. No. No, I can't even look at it. I can't even look at it now.
Those are kind of nice.
Wand of the War Mage, I think it just gives a plus to hit with a spell.
I believe it also gives bonuses against cover as well.
Yeah, that's right. While holding this wand, you gain a bonus to spell attack rolls, determined by the wand's rarity. This is a +1, so it's an uncommon. In addition, you ignore half cover when making a spell attack. So this is something that would be really, really useful for, not so much for Cleo, but for Kindar. This would be a great thing for Kindar to have. But those are the things that you are detecting that have a similar air of magic about them. That clearly that what is affecting Cleo. And so, do you? I would imagine that you wouldn't have to take out the crown, being the last thing in there. So I don't think that Gusto would see the crown. She wouldn't have taken that out.
Just the aura, and if the aura doesn't match, it's not concerning to me.
Right. So that's what you get.
It's those.
These? God
So-
damn it.
I can tell you that I don't recognize the magic. Would I have any idea, knowing that it came from a burial site, if they were cursed?
Give me an insight check. And Cleo, knowing this too, you can make the same roll.
Okay. For what?
Insight?
Insight.
And that's a 15 on my insight.
13.
Yeah, you guys both independently, now knowing that these are the items that caused it, connecting the dots to where they came from, you're pretty sure that Cleo is under the effect of a curse.
And I go, a curse. And I shove everything else in my bag except for the wand and the stone. And I say, okay, guys, turn around. And I just have this really guilty look on my face. Like that's, you know, that like emoji with the smile that's just all the way across. That like,
Somebody posted in
you
chat.
know?
I like to think that Kindar was just watching this entire thing like through his third eye. You know what I mean? Like Kindar was like tuning into the vibrations of the room with his mind and was just like watching this like he was watching a closed circuit security camera or something. Yeah, so you guys turn around, you see the pearl and the wand on the bed.
Jordy is unsurprised.
He's like, yeah, of course.
I would
Hmm.
definitely make sure that they know not to touch it, because it is cursed.
So where does one go to get uncursed around here?
Well, first, I think Kindar would be kind of like looking at this thing and maybe. Let's see. We don't know exactly like where. He probably would want to try to like see if he knows anything about it or like has encountered something like exactly like that wand in the past, you know, on his own. You know, he's also got this sage research, so he might have like, you know, encountered somebody who knows something about wands.
Remind me again what the researcher gives you.
When you attempt to learn or recall a piece of lore, if you do not know that information, you often know where and from whom you can obtain it. This information comes from a library, scriptorium, university, or a sage or other learned person. Or
Yeah, I'm just going to use your background just to give it to you that Kindar automatically knows what this wand is. Like, you're very familiar with this. What other information were you trying to glean from it?
Let's see. What did we determine it does?
Yeah, so it gives you a +1 to any spell that you have to roll to hit.
+1. Okay.
Yeah, so your spells that require a save on my part, that wouldn't affect you at all. But if you have to roll to actually hit somebody with one of your spells, if you're wielding this wand in your hand, then it gives you a +1 to that attempt to hit. So that's like really good. This is I don't know if this is exactly a wondrous item. It might be, but it's really good. Let's just put it that way. This stuff is really rare in 5e. This kind of thing.
And would he know anything about this curse at all from it?
Gotcha. What would you know about a curse? I'll tell you what everybody here would probably know is that that curses can be removed with magic. Especially Gusto would especially have that information. He knows that you could remove a curse with magic.
I've seen it.
Yeah, right. You see exactly. You've seen it happen. So you would probably know that as well, Kindar. That you could probably magically remove this curse. I don't know if anybody here has the ability to do that. I kind of don't think so.
Not till next level.
Oh, you all level up! Isn't that crazy? But short of that, I mean, yeah, you're not super sure.
Maybe there's like a cleric in town who can remove this curse.
Yeah, has Kinder maybe encountered anyone in his adventures who maybe like within 10 towns?
I am pretty sure that of the like approachable people that you know of in 10 towns, that you guys are the most powerful magic users. Like, you are the most powerful magicians, magic users in 10 towns.
All right, can we call upon the Frostmaiden to cure the curse?
This turns into an evil campaign.
Well, you know what? Once I get rid of this curse, I think, Kendar, this thing might be kind of cool for you. I was thinking about selling it, but now that we know what it is, I don't know. That might be kind of cool for future if we're going to be traveling together.
Yeah, once we figure out a way to maybe get rid of this curse, we'll
Did that work,
Maybe
you
I'll-
guys? Did you get that?
Yes.
yeah, I just got that.
Yep.
Great.
Well, it's mine for now, and I'm whipping it around because I have a curse anyway, so I'm having fun.
Woo!
I whip my wand back and forth.
Exactly.
Well, Cleo, I can't help with the curse yet. I know that I've seen curses removed. Where I grew up, there was a cleric who was pretty strong with the
Horse.
Lord's
For
guidance,
us.
and he was able to do things like that. But I'm not strong enough.
That's okay. At least we figured out even a little bit of this. I'm sorry. Screwed up once again. But then I don't know. I feel kind of bad. But I also don't feel that bad because I have other stuff in my bag. I just want to get rid of this curse. Maybe if we go to Dougan's Hole next, we can go find a cleric there or find a cleric in town here before we leave. Since everyone likes us here, I don't really know what to do.
I think the temple here isn't used. I think Vor asked about it before, and there's a temple but no cleric or anything.
Well done, Jackson. Give yourself a inspiration if you didn't already have one. Yeah, this is a vacant building. It's the Shrine of the Flaming Sword. It's a shrine to Tempest, the god of war. The vacant building stands on the lake shore. Has a crow-haunted steeple protruding from its peak. Unlike the mead hall, which is well cared for, the shrine's painted icons of the god of war wielding a flaming sword are chipped and faded. Its spacious interior is mostly empty. This is where you guys are going to use. This is where you have that storage available that she said you could. That Olivessa said you could use for storage. And the shrine was, just from talking to the townsfolk, the shrine was built over 100 years ago, when the rivalry that the Goodmead had with Dougan's Hole was so super fierce, and that the lake was like a frequent battlefield. That's why this lake here is known as Red Waters. It's because the people of Goodmead and the people of Dougan's Hole used to fight fiercely on the lake and kill each other. And this shrine was to the god of battle, essentially. But now that Goodmead is kind of out of the fishing business and into the mead business, and this rivalry isn't as harsh as it once was, this temple is now in disuse.
Hmm. Interesting.
So it looks like I can't cure my curse here.
My curse.
I know. I can't do anything.
I think it would be wise if we kept all of this to ourselves, the group,
Please.
all of this. And I gesture to the ritual as well.
Of course.
Of course.
And I'm sure that we can work on something to get that curse removed.
So do we
Speaking of which, would Kindar know anything about this pearl of power, specifically, like more about this, like where to find this command word?
Yeah. Why don't you give me an Arcana check?
Yeah, that one worked correctly.
All right.
Yeah, it definitely worked correctly because it was an 18.
18, you say? Honestly, great question. I read it and I should have looked it up right then because I don't know the answer to this. So let's see.
Identify it.
I
I
have to
feel
change the
like
battery real quick. That's it.
You
okay.
can't touch it, though. We can't identify it.
Yeah, as far as I know, identifying.
Identify would give you the command word.
Yeah.
I can hear.
Can't touch it. As far as we know, both of them we can't touch.
Well,
Well, I mean,
we
I
don't
guess Jordy can.
we don't well we don't know if you can identify it without touching it.
Yeah.
But
Wait, you're saying like? Sorry, you would have to. My headset cut out for a sec.
Yeah,
What do
I actually don't know the answer to this question, so I'm going to say that. Yeah, I think that you'd have to use the spell identify in order to make that happen. It's a little vague in the actual like errata for the rules. I'm just not super sure. So, something like identify, I think, would do the trick.
it just sucks that the person who has that can't use it.
Yeah, this is like the ultimate catch-22. Did you stuff all the stuff back into your bag, Cleo?
I did it before I let them turn around.
Okay.
I didn't want to be judged.
It's like 15 minutes shoving things back in the bag.
Just one more minute.
Right?
Make a mental note of the dragon thing.
Oh, you on the corn purse?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Try to commit it to memory. All right. Well, what now?
On to Dougan's hole.
To the hole.
Yeah.
All right, let's switch over to Flora's map of Dougan's hole. Did you post that somewhere? Flora and I have been messing around with this map making program. He made Dougan's hole, which is just like a snowy town with a literal fucking hole in the center of it.
But you gotta see the hole though.
So it's about a 4-hour trip from Dougan's Hole, or from Goodmead to Dougan's Hole, south along the road. I'm gonna switch us back to the main map here. So there's your trip. That's along Redwaters. Redwater's mainly frozen over now. You can see some channels in the ice where some of the ships, probably from Dougan's Hole. I mean, you would assume Dougan's Hole have tried to chip through some of the ice here just to have a sailing path. Maybe get a small rowboat into some of these places to fish as you're making your way down. And as you are getting closer to Dougan's Hole, Jordy, give me a perception check.
Can't move my pants down.
It's very cold.
Bastard. Gave me an error.
Oh no!
Let me check.
God damn it,
It might,
Negamir!
have just been. I've just had it sitting here open. I haven't touched it, so.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah,
don't
you
know.
haven't made a
Let me
roll
double-check.
today. This is your first roll
Efficiency.
of the session.
Do some quick math real quick. Math that probably took longer than I should have, but that's not D290. Yeah, I might just need to restart it.
No worries. 13, Jordy. The lantern that you carry begins to glow.
There's work now. Oh. Oh, the lantern. It's doing something.
Ooh.
Maybe it's
Oh,
cursed.
those little ice thingies are somewhere around here.
Zune, tell us what you remember about this quest that you picked up in Bryn Shander.
Oh, about the like from the lady that we
Yeah.
met. So she had said that that there's these like spirits, I think she called them.
Chwingas.
I had to look through my notes.
Yes. I'm trying to find that in my notes.
I'm putting you both on the spot
yes,
here.
okay. Danica Greysteel with glasses. There are little spirits called Schwingas, and she thought that they could be causing the winter. And these Schwingas, she says, has the ability to. She thinks has the ability to change their surroundings. And she gave us this lantern that lights up that's supposed to detect spirits, I think, in general, when they're in an area.
Elementals.
I don't think
maybe?
I don't think it was necessarily Schwingas that it could detect. It was just elementals. So
so it could be the wolves too, for all we know. Because we don't know what's making the wolves talk. Oh, that's worrying.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, that's exactly that what the quest that Danica doled out there. And you were right as well, Jackson, which is that this lantern is attuned to elementals, which Schwingas are.
yeah, she wanted us to try to capture them and bring it back to her so she can study them more.
Indeed. Yeah, so the lantern is starting to faintly flicker, Jordy, and you notice it.
Oh, the elemental lantern is flickering. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. There's an elemental nearby. Hopefully it's a small ice one that Danica talked about.
I hope so, because I can't do very much right now.
You mind if I try to call out to it?
Go ahead. I'm sure it'll find us if it wants to.
Gusta goes, hello!
So, in Primordial, I would
Bray thought that was
call
really
out,
funny.
Oh, it's a Turinga laughing at us.
hello? Any little spirits out there?
You say that in Primordial?
In Primordial, yeah.
I'm imagining some unholy noise comes out of it. He's speaking to like
you
a
guys remember
wall,
when I don't know if you
being.
watched the last Ant Streamiversary when Meteor Matt was speaking Infernal or whatever. God, a deep speech. God, that was funny. Meteor Matt's like that's his deep speech.
I remember that.
Yeah, nothing happens. Gusto, Cleo, Kindar, why don't you guys both give me a perception check?
Jordy's just like poking the lantern while they're doing this.
Well,
It's like like a neon sign. Oh, it was almost a natural 20. Sound.
11.
Yeah, so Cleo, you guys are in a kind of a wooded area along the road here, and you notice about, I don't know, maybe 300 yards away or so that there's like a small cabin at the edge of the woods.
Oh, look, guys, the cabin. And I point to it. I wonder what that is.
Well, that is ominous.
Should we check it out?
I'm not sure, considering the lantern went off, and we happened to just now find this cabin that shows up.
Maybe there's something around the cabin.
Maybe they can lift my curse.
I guess there's only one way to find out then.
So you guys,
If we're all in agreement.
start.
Maybe we just go in in
Yes.
peace with our arms up.
So as you
Yeah.
get closer to the cabin, the lantern gets a little bit more solid color, green, and you spot a bundled up figure. As you get a little bit closer, you see that it's a woman. She comes stomping out of this little snow-covered cottage, and she looks over at you, and she starts like yelling at you, and she's like, "This place is cursed. These little tricksters are everywhere."
Oh, Lord Trickster, as you say, I think that's just what we're looking for.
Looking for him. I hope you get rid of them. They keep opening up my windows. It's sending horrible chills through my house.
Well, we can try. This thing here can detect them. In case you're wondering what
Does it
this
get rid of them
ominous glowing
too?
lantern-
They've been stealing my silverware. My cups are broken. They knock things off of shelves.
Oh, well, it sounds like we're about to have a fun time then.
She kind of sticks her finger in your face, Cleo. She's like, "The spirits, I tell you. It's the spirits that are doing it."
Yeah, the spirits.
Well, if you can get rid of them, more power to you.
Do you know how to lift a curse by chance?
Do I look like I know how to lift a curse? I'm a little old lady that lives in a cottage in the woods.
Okay, lady.
She's a knock level wizard.
I just happen to be a high-level wizard.
Yeah. So when are you seeing these things, or when are they?
I've never
Messing
seen him.
with
I've
you.
never seen him. I've just seen the little destructions that they cause. Just the annoyances.
And you said they're taking your silverware.
Silverware, cups. And they come into my house. It must be while I'm asleep. Open the windows. I'm an old lady. It's cold outside.
What time of day is it?
Kind of doesn't matter, right? But it's mid-morning.
I mean, just like, is it midday, late?
Yeah, it's mid-morning.
Okay. Well, I mean, we can try and set up a little trap. You said they like to take the shiny things?
That's right.
I've got a piece of gold if anybody wants to try and make a little trap.
Who's got the highest survival check?
I have a +2.
I can only have a +1.
+1.
I've got a +3.
Oh.
Why don't Cleo and Gusto give me a survival check, please? I imagine that you guys would be, especially Cleo, like surveying around. Great roll. I'm happy that you got that.
Wow,
roll.
21.
And oh yeah,
And I get an 18.
Gusto nailed it too. So as you guys are kind of just like talking to this lady, looking around, you can see that she stomped outside because one of her windows had been opened, and in the on the windowsill, there's some fresh fallen snow, and you can discern in the snow 3 individual sets of tiny footprints leading off into the woods.
We got us a trail, boys and girl.
Should we follow it?
I don't know.
So
Do we care?
only lead.
I mean, do we care about finishing this quest for her?
Well, I mean, I think we should try at least, since we literally just stumbled upon it.
Maybe it'll be easy.
I think it will be annoying, but it shouldn't be too hard.
Famous
Unless
last
we're
words.
getting led to those wolves.
Ooh, that's a good point. I can't fight right now.
Well, I mean, if we're being
Hmm.
led to the wolves, that's 2 birds with 1 stone, right?
It
Now it-
is, in a way, but we know nothing about the wolves. That they might know, but they might know some more in Dougan's Hole.
Yeah, we could just try and talk to
I
him.
mean, I guess we can. I don't know wolves to talk, but I can't say I know many wolves. I
Especially
don't know many
intelligent.
Tringers.
Maybe we
Well,
can head to town and then try and find somebody to lift this curse and then go back and look for them. They like shiny things, right? I got plenty of that if we need some bait.
I don't know if we'll find anybody in 10 towns who would be able to lift this curse necessarily.
All right, Mr. Negative, it's worth asking, and we're going there anyway.
So just to make sure that your focus is in the right spot. I think that several sessions ago, you guys were inquiring about to see if you could find a high level spellcaster in 10 towns, and you couldn't, because there isn't. As I said before, you guys are the highest level magic users in 10 towns. So if your hope is that you're going to find somebody to lift this curse in one of these towns, you're barking up the wrong tree, because it's not going to happen.
Not even like a shop or like is there a potion
No,
or something that
specifically
exists
not,
in the world?
because you were I don't remember specifically what you were looking or asking, because you've asked a question similar to like, well, maybe we can find somebody to cast this spell for us. But that's just, it's if you were maybe in like Waterdeep, absolutely you'd be able to pay for a cleric to cast a spell. That'd be no problem. But here in 10 towns, it's just like not really.
Okay.
Just I'd hate
Alright.
for you to spend all your time thinking like, oh, as soon as we get to Bryn Shander, this curse is no problem because we'll be able to find a guy. That's not a thing.
All
Not
right,
here.
I'm cursed forever.
You're
Sorry,
cursed
guys.
forever for the rest.
Cursed until level 3.
You're cursed until
Yes.
Gusto levels up.
Kindar suddenly kind of has like a theory, maybe like that. What if that water, that special water, was a cure for that curse since they were in the same area? What
Like
if the what if that's kind of like a cure for the curse?
like blessing the objects.
Either that or maybe drinking it like prevents the curse or something. Because I do
That's-
have a vial of the water.
That's actually not a bad thought.
That's really
That's
smart.
genius.
I know that the clergyman would sometimes put holy water and say prayers again over objects and things like that to bless them for, whatever.
Spray me with holy water, and I lay out my arm.
Kindar hands Cleo the water skin with the magic water.
And do you drink it?
Maybe like Well, no, you don't want to get wet in the cold. Never mind.
Pour it all over yourself. Wet t-shirt contest. Do you drink the water skin, Cleo?
I'll take a few steps back.
I take couple, like, I don't drink all of it, but I drink like a quarter of it.
It's like, you guys ever seen the movie The Water Boy? When he drinks the glacial water, you know, at the end that like gives him this like the ability to get back into the game. It's a bit like that moment. It's a bit like that moment. And Cleo, you definitely feel different. You definitely feel the power of the drink that you just consumed.
Okay, I wait to see if it's just temporary or if it stays. Does it feel like it's just like a quick high, or does it feel like I feel normal again?
You feel warm. It's not as if you, when you were cursed, you felt not normal. If that makes sense.
Okay.
So you don't feel different, but you do feel like a warmth through you.
All right. I like want to try out one of my spells, but I don't want to waste a spell slot. I want to see if it works. I just kind of like tell everyone how it feels, and I don't know if I should drink the rest or if it worked or not.
Well, if you're feeling warm, maybe it was just a way of staving off the cold.
It's like your magic juice, Laura.
Well, not quite. I guess we'll see how long this lasts.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
So we
I
gotta
keep
follow
the rest
these
of the
little
bottle.
buggers?
Okay.
So, do we want to follow them or try to set a trap for them? Or a little bit of both?
Let's set a little trap.
Define Odds, thank you so much, dude, for the 35 months. Almost 3 years, dude. Holy shit. Define Odds, roll your D4 on the Discord, dude. Give it to one of our players if you wanna.
I think we should do a little bit of both. Maybe track them a little bit to see if they have a little hiding area, and then we could set a trap for them there.
Sounds good to me.
Gendar, you in?
Yeah. Kinder's in.
All right. I pull out like 3 gold for this little trap.
And how do you set it up? What is the trap exactly? It's a bear trap. Just
I was picturing one of those little, like, you know, those little ones that are like box that get like trapped in a little box, a stick.
Okay, yeah,
That's what I was
yeah.
picturing.
I tried to set one of
What
those
were
up
you
when I
guys
was a
thinking?
kid.
Well, I was thinking that we'd try and find out where they're hiding first. I mean, if they're hiding in a little hole or something like that, we'd have to lure them out.
Okay, let's do that.
So we're going to follow the tracks a little ways, see where they lead.
Sounds good to me.
Alrighty. Yeah, the tracks are really easy to follow. It's like they weren't trying to... you too, Missy. Have an awesome night. Thanks for stopping in. They weren't trying to hide their path. So you guys get into the woods here. I'd say it's not long. It's maybe 15 minutes, 30 minutes or so, and you're just into the woods. Does anybody know off the top of their head what their passive perception is? Just your passive wisdom score?
Mine is
Mine's
11.
13.
Mine's 13 as well.
Okay, so do you know what yours is, Zune, by any chance?
Sorry, where is that?
On roll 20, I think it's off the left hand
Oh
side.
yeah, it's 13. 13.
Mhm.
13.
I looked at D&D Beyond.
So Kindar, Gusto, and Jordy, you guys all hear the sound of some movement behind some low conifer trees, some bushes. And as you peek over the top, you see, all of you see, a strange little scene.
Oh.
You see a dinner plate. Piled on the dinner plate are branches and pine cones. You see, for the first time, and I think Kindar knew what these things were, right? If I recall from several sessions ago, you did a roll and you were like, "Oh, I kind of know what these guys are. I've heard of these things before." There was some kind of folklore. You thought like these things only existed like in old wives' tales and stuff. You see a Chewinga, and he's sitting along the edge of the plate, and two other Chewingas are holding up like a butter knife, and they're moving the one that's sitting there next to the plate is holding a fork, and he's got the fork like pushed into like a pine cone, and the other two Chewingas are like kind of moving the knife back and forth across the pine cone. And that's what you see.
What do these Chewingas look like?
Let me see if I can find a picture for you.
Are they eating a pine cone for dinner?
It might be.
Either that or they're building something like that. They're working together to cut it.
Could eat the pine nuts. That's actually a thing that most animals eat out in the cold.
Oh yes! Oh, it's so good,
Thank
you
you,
guys.
Jordy.
It's so good. Here's the scene.
Looks like they have little clothes on. They have a little like.
It
It's adorable.
really is, isn't it?
Is that a little snowman?
Oh, it is a little snowman.
Wait, they're wearing a mask. They wear masks.
Yeah, and there's social distancing.
Oh, that's great.
These little guys couldn't have caused all this darkness. Just like
That's so
little
weird.
kids.
They're so cute and little.
Well,
Can we hear anything? Can we hear them like speaking? Do they speak any like language? Or are they like?
Yeah, it's kind of like a little bit like that sound you just made, but it's more of like a high pitched sort of almost like a squeaking. It's almost like squeaking mice, but it's not. If it's a language, it's not any language that anybody here is familiar with.
Should we go say hi?
Oh no, because they might just run off.
Okay.
We could try to coax them in with more shiny things. I believe the lantern can trap one.
Trap them.
Yeah, the lantern that she gave us.
Okay.
can it?
I thought so. Can it?
No.
Can it hold one? Or do we have to create? No. Oh, I don't know how we're supposed to carry one of these.
Like, do we want to trap it? That seems kind of mean. Look how cute they are.
I forgot that the lantern could actually like hold one.
Cleo, I know you probably won't want to part with it, but you have a jar of mead or something in your bag, right?
I look at him and I look at the other two and I'm like,
Well, I know you were
Hmm.
getting drinks at the bar, and I think that I saw you get a jar of mead.
I did buy a jar of mead when I was at the bar. Yes, I do remember that purchase.
We probably don't want to drink it all right now, but maybe one of them would fit in the jar.
But why do we want to trap one?
We have to bring one back.
Okay. Okay. I take out the jar and I chug the mead. chug as much as I
Flo's making a face from a person who has had too much mead before and knows what that's like.
At this point, I am just like so desperate for any kind of help. I'm just like, here, you want a jar of meat? Here, take this jar of meat. Maybe it'll get me there faster. So I'll be able to like do something.
Looking at the jar, does it look like it would fit one of the chewingas in it? Or is the jar too small?
Yeah, it's probably not really big enough to fit it. Like you would be really stuffing Schwinga inside.
Are you kidding me? I look at the empty jar and I just give up. I sit on the snow. I'm just there.
Thank
I've
you.
had a day.
Well, it was worth a try.
We could try
Maybe-
to trap
maybe-
it with gold.
Maybe the lady at the cottage has something that we can use, and we can set something up there, and kind of like leave that set up. And then when we go, check out the wolves and come back and see if we have a Schwinga captured.
There's one other thing that I can maybe do.
What's that?
I might be able to immobilize one of them.
What do you mean by mobilize?
Won't be able to move.
But how? Like permanently?
No, it's not permanent.
Severs the
It's,
spine at C4.
It's
Right,
temporary enough. I mean, I'm sure it's good for at least a good 10 minutes.
What if I was able to use my mage hand to sneak up on it and grab one?
There's that as well.
I
When
can
I
also
immobilize it,
use psychokinesis to lift a creature. Let's see, how heavy do they have to be? It just says small humanoid or creature.
Yeah, I mean these guys are teeny, so
I mean, we can take one each.
Mine
But
can
there's three of
literally
them.
move them in any direction.
Mine's not that good, but we can each take one.
Take them
Sorry,
all as a
Jordy.
family?
Yeah.
Somehow that seems more ethical than taking just one and then the other two are just like, what?
Does anybody have a bag?
I have a backpack.
Like a smaller bag?
No.
So, as you guys are like back behind the bushes discussing, like, all right, well, Cleo chugs the mead. It's like, that's not big enough. If we poke a few holes in the top, it's not gonna be big enough. And then you're like, Kindar's like, oh, I can use my psychokinesis, and Cleo's like, I could, use my mage hand. Or so who's got a bag? And you're like, I got this backpack. You all look over at the same moment, and all three of the Chewingas are now on your side of the bushes, and they're just like looking at you curiously. They're looking up at you, and you're looking down at them, and they're looking up at you, and you're looking down at them. And Cleo, the one that's closest to you, kind of like waddles up to you and starts to pull on the tassels on your skirt,
Oh.
like pulling you into the clearing.
Oh.
Like wants you to come with the clearing, and then the other two kind of waddle over to where he is, and they head back into the clearing, and the other one's like trying to get you to come into the clearing.
Can I pick him up?
You can try.
I really kindly try and like pick him up, but like as nicely as I can, like as if I'm just gonna scoop him and hold him.
Yeah, so you pick him up, and he's kind of like squeaking at you, and making sort of like a welcoming gesture towards the clearing.
Well, I got one, you guys, but I don't think I want to go out to this clearing here. But what do you think we should do?
Well, it's trying to communicate with us, so maybe we should try to hear it out. Like, these things probably know more about what's going on than anyone.
I look at him and I go, "What do you want, little guy?"
Maybe they understand English at least, but maybe just can't speak it. So like maybe if we speak to that, like ask like, where do you want me to go? Or like ask him, where do you want her to go? Just so like see if he like responds by pointing or something.
Yeah, it's like
The
very
clearing.
clear that he wants Cleo to join him and the other Chwingas in the clearing.
Like this is a trap, and I'm gonna die if I go to this clearing.
Is there anything like out of the ordinary about this clearing?
You can do a quick glance through like an investigation.
Yeah, can I like can I see if it's a
Yes.
sketch like and see like okay, is there like danger around?
Why don't you give me a survival check, Cleo and Gusto, because you're doing a slightly different type of check. Investigation. So investigation
Okay.
for Gusto, survival for Cleo.
13.
Oh, a 14.
It doesn't look like anything to either of you. There's no obvious traps. There's no. It doesn't look like there's anything hiding in the bushes or anything like that.
Kandar kind of asks Vlora, hey, do you like maybe you can see if there's any magic in the area?
Um,
Because I don't know if we know if they're how magical these things are.
sure. I'll cast Detect Magic.
Alrighty. I mean, these guys definitely have magic about them.
And like look around to see if there's anything other than them that seems magical.
Nothing in the clearing that has any magic. They have like a, like a druidic type nature, elemental, that kind of school of magic. I'm not sure exactly what that is, but that's the type of magic that's emanating off the Chwingas.
Or, um,
Kindar says they seem harmless. I would say go, and we're here to protect you if anything goes wrong.
I look at them like I'm just gonna end up getting killed, and I go, okay. And should I give you guys the Chewinga so that we have one, or I don't know. I feel so like I shouldn't walk out on this right now.
Maybe we gesture back to him, pointing to the like our side of the bush and saying, "You go there, she goes there."
Well, while they're there, knowing that they're a little bit of elemental, I'll try with the primordial again and all the different dialects, and ask them, "Can you understand me?"
You got nothing.
Wow.
You don't understand any of the noises that they're making as language, and they don't give you any indication that they understand clearly what you were saying to them.
Well, I can't help. Go for it.
Remind me about this moment in the next unconscious and dying floor.
Okay.
Maybe one of you guys go. Just say I can't even defend myself right now.
Maybe they want to cure your curse. Maybe they can tell that you have a curse.
Oh yeah.
The Chwinga that you have is kind of like now like climbing down you, Cleo. Like
Okay, I
walked up
go
here-
with the Chewinga. You know, what, fuck it. All right, I go with it into the clearing. And but I have like my weapon out. I'm like ready to fight. I'm just like, don't mess with
Is it
me.
a dagger?
Yeah,
Maybe
we
you
follow
could
her?
cut the pine cone for them.
So
Yeah, I could have.
so there, you walk into the clearing with them and roll for initiative. No, I'm just kidding. I think the sunflower would just be like, "I'm done, dude. I'm done with this fucking bullshit. I'm cursed,
That's
and then
just-
you kill me with these little elementals."
They bring you to our world, the Frostmaiden.
They tie you down and sacrifice you.
That's kind of what I was waiting for.
Yeah, I dropped a few frames, Savage Queen. Not a whole ton, but a few there. I saw it as it was happening. So you get in there. The two that went in there first, the Chwingas, they are back to one's holding the fork and the other one's holding the knife. And then the little guy that he climbed down you and you followed him into the clearing. He sits down in front of the dinner plate and he kind of like gestures for you to like join them.
For dinner with the pine cone?
Yeah.
Okay, I graciously also cut up their pine cone for them if they are okay with that, and say thank you.
So they are super psyched that you did that. They're super psyched, and they start like chittering at each other, and they like like throw their arms up, and they like start running around, and they all come really closer to you, and they start like looking at you, and they like climb up onto your shoulder, and they're like looking at your hair and your horns, and they're like super interested in you. And the one that came out and like that you picked up, he's the one who's like up on your shoulder, and he kind of like sits down on your shoulder and gestures to the other two Chwingas, and they kind of like run around in a circle around you on the ground, and then sort of before you know it, they dart off into the bushes, and they're kind of like gone. But you got the one guy still sitting up there chilling on your shoulder.
Okay, I stand up and start to walk towards my group.
And he just stays up there, and he's like holding on to your hair and your like by your ear, and he's just like
I want to
up on
give
your
him
shoulder.
benefit of the doubt, but freaked out.
As
Did
you
that look like a marriage ceremony?
you can give me an insight check.
I know a few. I've seen some ceremonies in my time. That's a 19.
You don't think so.
Oh,
okay.
darn it.
Darn it.
I mean, that
been-
looked like a joining, and the two of them together. I mean, that's what it reminded me of. So,
Cleo, you have a little pet Schwinga on your shoulder now.
Great, I'm going to name him Clyde.
I think that's a very appropriate name, and I think that's a very appropriate ending to our session number 10. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you back here in 2 weeks, and maybe by then Sunflower will have forgiven me for giving her character. Thanks, guys. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.